Hello and welcome to Cần Thơ News of Cần Thơ Radio and Television Station. Here are today's headlines. Hanoi Department of Tourism and the Management Board gave away gifts to tourists and people visiting Uncle Ho Mausoleum. Over 66,000 cases of dengue fever have been recorded nationwide since the beginning of the year. It is forecasted that high tide might come early in Cần Thơ City. Top news today. On the occasion of National Day, the Hanoi Department of Tourism and the Management Board of President Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum gave away 20,000 gifts to tourists and people visiting Uncle Ho Mausoleum. This is an annual activity that has been implemented since 2018. This year, the Hanoi Department of Tourism plans to give 80,000 gifts, including one bottle of water and bread, or one box of milk and bread to tourists visiting Uncle Ho Mausoleum on major holidays such as Liberation for South and National Reunification Day on April 30, International Labor Day on May 1st, President Ho Chi Minh's birthday on May 19, and the National Day of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam on September 2nd. This is an activity with profound humanitarian significance, expressing the feelings of the Hanoi people towards the people of the country and tourists visiting the capital. Local estimates indicate that during the first 8 months of this year, there were 66,386 cases of dengue fever nationwide, with 14 fatalities as a result. Dengue fever cases are concentrated in Hanoi with 5,190 cases and in some central and southern provinces such as Ho Chi Minh City with 8,628 cases. Since June, there has been a dramatic increase in dengue fever cases. The number of cases with problematic development will continue to rise in the near future. According to the World Health Organization, climate change and El Niño may encourage mosquito breeding between now and 2024, boosting the transmission of dengue fever and other diseases carried by mosquitoes. According to the Vietnam Social Insurance, in the past 8 months, the country has had more than 5 million medical examinations and treatments of students paid for by the Health Insurance Fund with a total payment of over 2,200 billion Vietnam dong. Around 18,800,000 students nationwide enroll in health insurance for the 2022-2023 academic year, with a participation rate of over 97%. The proportion of students who will have health insurance for the following academic year is higher than it was the year before and is getting near the goal of 100% coverage. Nearly 91 million people, or roughly 92% of the population, will have health insurance by the end of June this year. The Health Insurance Fund spent over 100,000 billion Vietnam dong a year on insurance medical exams and treatment. The fund spent more than 57,000 billion Vietnam dong in the first half of 2023 to pay for approximately 83 million visits by people seeking medical exams and treatment. Entering the new school year of 2023-2024, Cần Thơ City strives to have 100% of students participate in health insurance. The health insurance for students is 680,400 Vietnam dong per person per 12 months. Students who enroll in health insurance will pay 80% of the fees associated with medical exams and treatment that fall within the scope of the benefits they are eligible for. Students will be entitled to benefits in accordance with the breadth and level of health insurance benefits in the event of a medical examination and treatment outside of the path. Specifically, 40% of central hospital inpatient treatment costs, 100% of provincial hospital inpatient treatment costs, and 100% of district hospital inpatient treatment costs. Just present health insurance card before leaving the hospital in the event of an emergency at any medical facility in the country. The water level is low compared to this time last year, and experts predict that flood will arrive late this year. However, if high tide comes early, it is probable that local flooding brought on by high tide in Cần Thơ City will worsen over the course of the following 1 or 2 months. The water level of the Mekong River upstream in Tân Châu and Châu Đốc is expected to rise in September with an average intensity of roughly 2 to 3.5 centimeter a day. By September 30, the highest water level in Tân Châu is 3.1 meter, which is 0.52 meters below average for many years. In Châu Đốc, it is 2.8 meters, which is 0.43 meters below average for many years. The water level at Cần Thơ Station on the Hậu River can reach 2.1 meter, which is 0.045 meter higher than the average for many years. At Mỹ Thuận on the Tênh River, it reached 2 meter, which is 0.53 meter higher than the average for many years. This is due to the combined impact of water flowing in from the upstream and high tides in the middle area. These two stations are 0.1 meter taller than they were in 2022.
Ladies and gentlemen, being immersed in a quiet space, sitting on a boat, watching the scenery, harvesting honey, and enjoying drinks made from honey are interesting experience when coming to the Melaleuca Garden at Sông Hậu Farm Ecological Area, with an area of 2 hectares planted with more than 500,000 large and small Melaleuca trees. The Melaleuca Garden in Sông Hậu Farm Ecological Area under the Garden Economic Development Project in Thời, Commune, Cờ Đỏ, Suburban District, Cần Thơ City has officially opened to visitors.
The highlights of the Melaleuca Garden are the bee colonies that see pure sweet honey, many types of birds and storks to dwell, and abundant natural fish resources. Here visitors can fish, put shelter, cast nets, as well as enjoy country food.
Sông Hậu Farm Ecozone was established on the basis of Sông Hậu Farm. Before that, Sông Hậu Farm also had deserted areas and has been gradually renovated so far. The reenactment of the Sông Hậu scene aims at preserving natural animals and directing visitors to experiential activities and know nature conservation.
The ideal time to visit the Melaleuca forest is early morning or late afternoon. At this time, people will encounter many species of birds and storks as they search for prey or fly back to the nest. There has never been a feeling of this experience before. This time, having the opportunity to visit Sông Hậu Farm Ecological Area, sitting on a boat to visit the Catapult Forest brings very interesting feeling. After hard working days, being in harmony with nature like this is very comfortable. Experiences at Sông Hậu Farm Ecozone are the same as in our time in the past. The suburbs that serve an ecological zone like this will attract a lot of families after working days here to have fun and relax together. The Melaleuca Garden at Sông Hậu Ecological Area is not only one of the ideal spots for visitors, but also creates jobs for locals. This is also the orientation in the development of the garden economy, collective economy, as well as agricultural tourism in Cờ Đỏ Suburban District, in order to create momentum for the potential development of ecotourism, river tourism, and gardens of the district in the coming time.
Coming up next is the weather forecast. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.